We're here for Challenge 2 of Woods Canada's Greatest Explorer. These guys are getting sent off into the wilderness, and they need to use elements of nature to express themselves. So I'm talking leaves, rocks, branches to create artwork. Hey, good morning, fellas. So Challenge 1, push your guys' limits physically. Today, this challenge will push your limits mentally. Today we'll be doing land art, and you'll be judged by Reinhard Reithenstein, art professor and practicing land artist.
What I'll be looking for is, first and foremost, the aesthetic appeal of the object that you're going to make. And secondly, the use of materials and how you integrate those materials into the site. And then, you know, what's in here? What's in here? Right. So good luck. I really look forward to seeing what you come up with.
I'm way out of my element on this one for sure. Hopefully something clicks up here and make it look pretty.
The challenge today is to tap into another side of me, I guess.
The idea of explorer can take on many dimensions. Brawn, muscle, and endurance and so on is obviously one key. However, it's also a reflective experience as well. So exploring means to be open.
Totally unexpected, but I'm definitely excited to make some art, something I normally don't do very often.
What do you got going on here, man?
I'm doing a bit of weaving, something I've never tried before. Definitely a bit of a curveball, but it's good because I don't think there's really anyone in this competition that's got a clear advantage over anybody else. It's just kind of doing the best with what we got, so I'm hoping to come out on top.
Land art is about being where you are and being aware of the place that you are and being sensitive to where it is that you are.
Pour moi, la forêt, c'est quelque chose de magique, c'est un endroit juste merveilleux. Donc j'ai voulu reproduire ça, une forêt à l'intérieur de la forêt.
I'm just following my heart and just building something that reminds me of the forest, and I'm just using all the bush to build it. I'm not very artsy, but I'll see what I can make out of this.
So far, I see a pile of kindling for a fire, but apparently Les has got something bigger in the works.
What I'm looking for is how sensitive they are to the actual materials in the sites that they're working with. First appearance, it all looks kind of boring and lots of dry leaves and a bunch of green stuff. However, once you start inspecting the land around you, you'll notice sound, smell, sight, texture, color. All of these components will feed their imaginations and how they work with them.
I'm gonna use some of the rocks. I like the look of this tree with all the bark and the texture, and then I'm just gonna try to use the leaves there, flow it into the ground, and hopefully get me some points.
As a former soldier, I've lost friends in combat. Also, other brother in arms. My plan is to build a small wooden cross that I'm gonna plant in the ground. Life and death is nature. So death is the death of my friend soldiers, but the life will be the nature around it.
We got a little circle happening here. My inspiration for this is the circle of life. Everyone takes a journey, and you always sort of end up where you started, I find. And the ultimate goal is to suspend it amongst these two trees here, sort of like a sun in the sky.
I'm looking to make straight lines as much as I can because there's no such things as straight lines in nature, just because it will contrast the rest of the forest.
Oh, that's a full-on rainstorm now.
Yep. What I've done is I've taken a map and plotted every single continent. I'm trying to use as many different aspects as I can from my surroundings here, and hopefully it'll all come together and look all right.
Kind of nice to have the water as the canvas. See what the weather does to it.
The water and the rain are kind of welcoming each other here. I'm pretty impressed with how people have taken this on. It's really interesting visiting site to site and seeing how people have persisted with the elements kind of challenging them.
It's raining out here. I'm working on my landscape artwork. I'm trying to create a nice relaxing spot on this place that I call the River Jude. River Jude is my daughter, and I'm just setting up a little montage to her. RJ and her initials weaved. Just playing in the mud like a little kid.
We got the Ogopogo man with his beard.
I have to make 159 cross. That's all the soldiers we lost in the Afghanistan mission.
Everyone is so on board and so absolutely committed to finishing, and finishing with panache.
Kevin's the first one down, so we're gonna check out his art piece.
It's called Tecumseh. There's a quote, from him that says, "A twig will break, but a bundle of twigs is strong." Small branches are holding up the rock.
C'est toujours important en tant qu'explorateur d'avoir toujours la bonne direction. C'est aussi dans la vie de tous les jours, savoir où l'on va. Ça m'a inspiré faire comme une rose des vents.
I tried to build a living swing today. I sat here trying to make rope for about 3 hours, and then that's suspending this plank that I found and kind of cut to shape.
I've done the tour of seeing all 12 guys working, and they've really come up to the challenge, and it's going to be tough. I need some time to think about this.
All right, fellas, that's the end of Challenge 2. It was really cool to see you guys pour your heart and soul into your pieces. But now it's time to find out where you all rank. Reinhardt's gonna give you the rundown.
First and foremost, an unbelievable performance. On every level, nobody dropped the ball. We're going to start from number 4. Mike? It's a tough gig to deal with Memorial in the forest. It's pretty powerful. Mike's piece was deeply heartfelt. He went with what felt right, the memory of guys who gave up their lives. The reason it was in 4th and not 1st is because it's a memorial that could be done in a variety of places. It wasn't distinct to this site. Number 3, the Circle of Life. Cam?
Yeah, Cam!
To make something of that scale, that was pretty audacious. And I also think the site, the location of it, was really quite wonderful. Cam was a lovely surprise because there's a sense of a hopefulness in the idea of that hoop, the wheel of life he talked about. And I mean, he just went for it, and Cam sort of delivered a piece that's super simple, super clean. There was no nonsense, and it was a really direct hit and a really good site. Number 2, there was one guy that stands out in terms of raw beauty, and that was Devin.
Yeah, Devo.
Are you surprised with yourself right now?
Yeah, a little bit.
Devin's work was exquisitely beautiful, super delicate, highly sensitive. He felt that the land structured the piece for him, essentially. And numero uno, the guy who did something so fully unexpected, Aaron.
Hey! Yeah, Aaron! Good job, man.
Like, who would have thought text in the forest? Aaron was the surprise, that someone could put letters into the landscape and have that still feel like it's not an intervention that is inappropriate. It was not only appropriate, it was like a dance in the kind of valley of water, and there was this beautiful sense of motion. And I think his dependence on family as a continuity in his life was beautifully honored.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Reinhardt. All right, so that's Challenge 2 in the books. Aaron came out on top, winning the Land Art Challenge. Now on to Challenge 3, the last round for eliminations. There's 4 explorers on the chopping block, but the game isn't over yet. Stoked to see how this plays out.